You are about to get a lesson that will change your life. When I first founded Dream Leader Institute in 2020, I really had a heart to work with battered women, military veterans, and I wanted to take the curriculum that we had built into the prison system. So I took all of the necessary classes to be a volunteer in a prison. And let me tell you, some of those classes, woo, still got nightmares over them. But anyways, I show up for the first day of volunteering, and I go to this entrance tower. They let me in. They tell me to go about 100 yards up the road, take a left, and I'm going to be operating out of that building. So I get to that building and I get out, and I was not ready for it, but there was a lot of prisoners just walking around. I mean, it was a this was in I lived in Spring Hill at the time. I don't remember that county, but it was a lower security prison. But I was sitting in the car. I'm like, you got to get out, and I had to go in and get some fingerprints done. And I'm just like, God, you're with me. Therefore, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I pop out of the car, and I immediately just start engaging with these prisoners. And it was so much freaking fun. Go in, get my fingerprints. The people who worked there were meaner than the people who were living there, if you know what I mean. And did the class, had a great time, and I was like, who is that guy? And as I was driving out, I just made this like realization how like easy it was to freely love these prisoners and impart wisdom onto them. And I'm driving out. It was pretty like long drive out of the prison. And I start thinking to myself, man, I had an easier time loving those prisoners than at times loving my very own family. And I started getting very emotional over it. And I pulled over to the side of the road and I said, God, why was it so much easier to love people who literally were in jail and committed crimes than my very own family? And, I know it sounds weird, but I hear God back when he talks to me. And you could do the same if you just train yourself. He said, it's easy, my son. You didn't have any history with those prisoners. You were free to be who you always really wanted to be. And I go, whoa. And he goes, secondarily, you don't have any history with anyone else either. Besides the history that you are making up every day in your head. In other words, it's a spin on living in the past. To make history, you have to lose your history. And it was in that moment that I realized living in the past is way more insidious than when we're just thinking about the past. So it was that day that I created this drill. Before I came out here, I imagined I'm sitting up on the cloud with Jesus. He's got his arm around me. He's got his arm around you right now, by the way. He's saying, John, my son in God, I'm going to send you down another day to that place called Earth. I'm going to give you Jennifer, Kaylee, Gunner, Max the Shih Tzu, all the people who watch your videos, all the people you're going to talk to today through Dream Leader Institute. So go down there and make the most out of it, kid. And then that's how I live my life. And that's how you stop living in the past. And that is how you lose your history to make history. Any questions? Leave it in the comments and have a great God day.